Bimbang kalau kau tersesat, tepiskan isi.
Siapa sangka sifat tamak puki mak masalah sedar dia jaga tidak ada sama jaga saya takkan mati macam parasi berdamai sampai jasad lesap kering kontang babai cabut lesap tempat lain maka sumpah maka sumpah maka sumpah. Haus minum ludah orang-orang yang tak pernah berdekat dengan penjajah yang ada semput nazak rabak tak lama lagi jadi habuk ditiup angin diserap bumi tempat binatang berak kencing kubur kata akan aman selagi sisamu masih berada di tanah ini siapa sangka sifat tamak puki mama salih sedar dijakiti tidak sama cakap saya takkan mati macam parasi berdamai sampai jasad lesap kering kontang babai cabut lesap tempat lain maka sumpah maka sumpah maka sumpah maka sumpah. Kau pandai berbelit, aku tahu neraka tak sempit. Kau pandai berbelit, makan sumpah sampai sembelit. Kau pandai berbelit, aku tahu neraka tak sempit. Kau pandai berbelit, makan sumpah sampai sembelit. Maka sumpah maka sumpah maka sumpah maka sumpah
We are gathered here today
Yes, we are.
to talk about the state of music spaces in Singapore. Past, present,
Like
and
real,
future. I'm curious about spaces you remember you had.
Yeah. The most kind of like central memory as a space, together with my bandmates with B Quartet, right? It was at Kampung Ubi Community Centre. I think at that point of time, so we were doing quite a few shows around different community centres, simply because we were utilising the rehearsal space. That was kind of like the beginnings of us getting a kind of footing in playing music. But afterwards, places like the Substation, Home Club.
I think I remember watching B Quartet and like many bands from afar and being kind of in awe. And then I remember at like our Sub Shaman launch, and like I was so scared to talk to you, and then like finally like I think you came up and said something really nice to us. A little while later you started to involve like me, Issa, Suhaili from the
With
Psalms
Ellie,
at the
yeah,
time.
yeah, that's right, yeah.
Ellie, Mark Naya, and like
Yeah.
projects that were a little beyond music. No, I really felt that transition of
Sure.
of being tethered to bands that came before us
Sure.
in a very real way. I mean, now that there's such a dearth of live houses, I mean, we have a few that have newly sprouted that are very active. I guess coming out of especially COVID and not knowing where to find community in all this, at least my spaces that died, it was super exciting finding PK. Wondering where the next generation is taking root, what they're doing, witnessing you starting that small room at G-Town
Yeah.
and how that
Wow,
goes.
that was
Yeah.
5 years ago already.
5 years already.
6 maybe?
2019.
2019, whoa.
Do you remember the moment you decided to like, okay, I'm just gonna go just sing everything to this?
No, I don't think I personally had a moment where I wanted to sink everything into it. We were young enough that that was all we did. And we were like, stars aligned, and we did like started doing live videos for people.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first one was Woes, so they wanted to do like a live set, and then someone was just like, hey, you guys can record, right? Then I was like, yeah, I guess. And he was like, yeah, I can. Then leap of faith, and then somehow we managed to sustain like a year, two, and then like the projects got bigger and bigger and bigger.
I didn't realize you both started so hand in hand.
Yeah, after we figured out that we could do it together, like we just fill in all the gaps, like we could do anything,
Yeah.
then it felt really good.
Wow.
Yeah, then it felt like it was perfect.
When all my community don't know where to go already.
I mean, we've never been to Home Club or
Yeah.
Substation.
But
Yeah.
then you're building something fresh here.
I think to a certain degree, actually, is quite self-serving. We do a lot of the things we do just because we want to. Not necessarily because we want to like build a community or like.
But that's why it's real, you know?
Yeah,
I
I think so.
that's what keeps it pure. You just do what makes you
Yeah.
happy. And
Yeah.
then, was it, how long have you all been here?
Here in this new space, like a year now.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's a while.
Since July, we moved in July last
Oh,
year.
you're right.
That's
Wow, it's been a
insane.
year.
They were in a few tiny rooms in Geylang, and then when they made the move here, I mean, I showed up one of the days to help move stuff,
Yeah.
but I was just so struck by like so many people came.
Yeah, like 20-30 people came to just
That's amazing.
carry stuff like 3 lorongs down.
Yeah, just people walking across
Yeah,
with
with
like
guitars.
planks and guitars and shelves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
amazing.
Like a whole kampung who was just
The shelf on the
hauling
trolley.
furniture
Yeah,
across.
the shelf on the trolley. Like,
I think
across
it's that one.
Geylang.
So
yeah.
Yeah,
This
it's
one.
really beautiful. So like, yeah, I mean, it speaks for itself, I think. Yeah, I mean, we lose spaces, but then it's been really moving to see how we persist.
I think Sean's example is pretty radical in my opinion.
So sorry, who is Sean?
Sean Sankaran, he goes under the moniker Mind Fucking Boy. I remember he was one of the first few, if not the first person that I know who self-organized gigs in people's living rooms. So he would basically like
that's awesome.
ask, like, you know, I'm doing a tour of my album within Singapore. For the first time, I think it's a completely different, you know, way of thinking about sharing music within your community as well.
Wow, what year was this?
I would say probably 2014, maybe 2013.
Secondary school.
Ah.
We're from the same secondary school.
I see. Okay. But
We
I
need to
think,
bring that back. Living room
Yeah.
shows.
Living room shows, CC shows.
Yeah.
but I also feel like, you know, like what you said, you know, you may see it as this like self-serving sort of like intent in the way you do it, but I think it's also about how you open up spaces, and the act of opening up spaces, the possibility of things to happen or for people
Yeah.
to gather. Fair enough, you may say it's self-serving, but I think that's very necessary in a place like Singapore, because I
Yeah.
think at one point in time everyone's kind of like consolidated to sites which were state endorsed or state run for that matter. Like, you know, there were a lot of these independent sites as well, like for instance Pigeonhole.
Yes, no, I started out at Pigeonhole, like my first gig ever.
Yeah,
I was
right.
actually helping Nicholas Chim run his open mic. One day some bugger didn't show up, and I was a full captive audience. Between like 9 to 10, I knew I had no one. I just like,
What do you do?
like I had a looper I was playing with a lot.
Oh, damn.
So just like, layer. But I had songs I quietly wrote, like I just
Yeah.
didn't intend to play them until got hole in the schedule.
Shit, was it
That's
ever
where
recorded?
I started. Yeah.
Was it recorded?
Was it ever recorded?
I don't think so, lah.
Need to open call out there. Get the video of
With
The
a,
Wish
with a
video
ukulele
performing
that
at Pigeonhole.
ukulele looping.
Yeah.
Please send that over to Ian at
sounds cool.
pkrex.com.
grave of your conscience. Save your spit for the grave of your conscience. Save your spit for the grave of your conscience. Save your spit for the grave of your conscience. Save your spit for the grave of your conscience. If you don't hear screaming, shouting, cries, broken prayers and bones, piercing airwaves and souls, innocent people distressed and dismembered as part of collective punishment, you have been locked in the eternal dungeons of hate or privilege. With insecurity, your taxes paid for. Textbook genocide, murderers granted impunity. The world is watching atrocities live stream in the comfort of our bubbles. There is something wrong when people with power do not stop to dismantle tyranny. There is something wrong when we're liking scenes of the atrocities in the name of justice. Fuck this, the revolution may not be televised, but no one said anything about a genocide broadcasted live. Hive mind swarm as algorithms of resistance push back. Report, receipts, archivists of violence. Every action serves as a testament against speech that nullifies justice. Save your spit for the grave of your conscience. Save your spit for the grave of your conscience. Save your spit for the grave of your conscience. Save your spit for the grave of your conscience. Save your spit for the grave of your conscience. Save your spit for the grave of your conscience. Save your spit for the grave of your conscience. Save your spit for the grave of your conscience. Save your spit for the grave of your conscience. The funeral decades ago, no one mourned its death. It seems the world has forgotten that curses will haunt your lifetime sometime soon. Your empire disintegrates to the sound of a love supreme, more brilliant than 1,000 prayers whispered in the darkness you nurtured. There will come a time when your actions are powerless in the face of hope. Nope, none for you. Your ambition will die like every colonial figure in history, drowned by the spirit of humanity. There is a future without you. You who ruthlessly plunder in the name of peace. There is a future without you. You dispatches of drones and artilleries, severing dreams but not hope, because unlike you, the hopeless, the parasitic scums of the universe, resistance is unbridled hope, joy and love, the things your exploits will never uncover. Never feel, never know, never know, never know, never know. Save your spit for the grave of your conscience. Save your spit for the grave of your conscience. Save your spit for the grave of your conscience. Save your spit for the grave of your conscience. Save your spit for the grave of your conscience. Save your spit for the grave of your conscience. Save your spit for the grave of your conscience. Save your spit for the grave of your conscience.
So context, G-Town, second, it's the second floor of a shop house, along 39. Super rundown. Toilet is nasty. Ask
Got
anyone,
rats.
ask anyone. Everyone who's been there knows. A lot of rats. Had cockroach problem for a while. But yeah, so that place became like a creative enclave. It was Akid Amir, Kribo Records at first. They moved in. That started like a whole wave of a bunch of people moving in. So there were maybe like 20 to 30 units in that second floor. First ever show was an aircon fundraiser.
Okay.
One of our neighbours, Ade, his aircon broke down.
Okay.
And then like, hey, make sure.
Yeah.
So we made the poster, everything on Wednesday night. and then like 120 people showed up.
Nice.
The speakers were underpowered. Everything was feeding back. So that was the first show ever. We were super unprepared. Everyone was sweating balls, but it was great. You know, like we made enough money to fix the aircon.
Nice.
And then second show was the Cashew Chemist Return show.
Right.
That one she played also actually. And that show was crazy because it was Cashew Chemist Return, right? I think we sold like 80 to 100 tickets also. Everybody jumped until like we really scared for our lives.
Oh, shit.
Like the
Not the
floor,
floor
Everything gonna drop,
the
guys.
floor like gonna break. I wouldn't call myself a showrunner at all. The people at like 526, Sunroom, like all these other like gig venues and spaces, they are very like dedicated gig venues, of which are very, very important to the Singapore scene. So for us, shows, half of them are like, it's very like necessity.
That's how it always starts, right? And, what sustains you then is the community that just enjoys this and feels connected to it enough to keep coming back and then drawing more people and then growing.
The first few times I went out of Singapore to play and also to watch shows, it was a very different world altogether. It's like venues with no equipment. Not only you learn a lot, but also like you encounter how different spaces just shape your musical output as well.
Yeah.
And it's the kind of energy that did not experience that back in Singapore.
Yeah.
Because it was completely different infrastructure. Some of the venues that we went to were places where people were squatting, for instance.
Right.
So it's venues with no electricity. They had to bring in generators and things like that. Goes back to the example that you gave with what you all went through. Like, you know, it's like based on whatever things we have at our disposal, how can we sort of like just make the best of it and make the best memories for everyone who wants to kind of like share this time and space together.
I feel like that's exactly like how we run everything we've ever done.
Yeah.
Like from the start, it's like A71.
Oh, I was just gonna talk about that.
What's that?
I had, you know, the A7 III is a really good camera for its time, but I was using the A7 I,
Sure.
Yeah.
and that's why I shot Wolves on.
But yeah, it was never like, the gear never kind of restricted us on what we did. Hey, just try it. Hey, we can just
Yeah,
go.
just do it. Yeah, try is free.
Yeah, try is
Try is
free.
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 That's why he always says, just try.
Just
Yeah,
try.
Just
we,
try.
we run one show, then like one person sound engineer, then Benny is doing projection mapping for the visuals, and then Zach's doing the poster. No, sorry, Audrey did the poster, and then Zach's doing the creative design. And then like, actually yeah, like the whole like cross-pollination of mediums also, I think is very important.
Yeah.
For me at least, getting into different practices in general has a lot to do with being able to work with other people. After a while, when you keep working with musicians, I mean, this one not trying to talk shit about musicians lah, but after a while you're kind of like locked into like just one way of thinking, of you know, relating to one another, and how producers, engineers, they play a very important role in the way that we think about, I don't want to use this term like Singapore sound, but it's like the kind of sounds and energies that appear out of Singapore. It's not just the bands themselves. It's I mean it's a whole web of people coming together to kind of like sharpen this thing, right? I think that's the main thing that I want to get at lah in these cross-pollination processes.
Kau tergamam dengan masa depan kita yang mengelirukan. Jangan bimbang kalau kau tersesat, tepiskan bisikan komen pengguna yang tak guna. Dari Facebook hingga ke Parlimen, semua orang nak berhak kuasa melanjutkan hidup. Berporak-peranda soalan hari ini jadi jawapan yang membingung. Kan kita kalau boleh jangan merujukkan Pak Google atau Minda Sarang yang terjuntai dan tersepai. Dari Facebook hingga ke parlimen, semua orang nak berhak kuasa melanjutkan hidup. Berporak-peranda berhak kuasa melanjutkan hidup. Berporak-peranda. Berporak-peranda.
Trying to grow the pie of how we all can live as creatives as big as we can, finding sustenance both in like physical sustenance and creative sustenance for myself and also for as many people as we can around us. Yeah.
Thanks,
Good,
y'all.
everything.
Self-serving, but in the end is talk about the pie lah, share lah for
100%.
Yeah, man.
Like you are community ah.
You're a community guy.
No lah,
You're a
the
community guy.
most of
Masquerading
it.
as
No,
a
because
selfish
you
man.
see, the idea is this. Like, I love my friends.
He does. It's true.
That's making the
Number one.
that's
Right,
making
right,
the
it's
edit.
true.
Right? Now, I love my friends. So if I can find a way that we can all do this thing for as long as we can together, that benefits me.